Okay, let's dive into something that might just challenge everything you think you know about willpower. We're going to talk about the real neuroscience behind why huge success can sometimes feel, well, empty, and what it actually takes to stay driven. So if you've ever felt your motivation just kind of fizzle out, this is for you.
So let's kick things off with this really powerful idea from researcher Albert Tan. This quote completely reframes the whole conversation. It's basically saying, hey, motivation isn't about being strong or weak-willed. Nope, it's a predictable, almost mathematical chemical reaction that's happening inside your brain.
I mean, think about it. Have you ever been there? You grind for months, maybe even years. You finally hit that massive target. You launch the thing, you get the promotion, and instead of this explosion of joy, it's just quiet, a little empty even. This isn't some personal failure, you know. It's a biological thing, and we're about to find out exactly why.
Right, so to understand that empty feeling, we've got to look under the hood at your brain's internal reward system. And here's the twist. The key isn't actually the reward itself. The real secret sauce, the thing that makes you feel fired up and alive, is surprise.
This is the core concept we need to get. Reward prediction error. It sounds complicated, but it's simple. It's just the gap between what your brain predicted would happen and what actually happened. Was the result way better than you thought, a little worse, or exactly what you expected? That difference? Well, that's everything.
And this is where dopamine comes into play, the famous motivation molecule. See, if you expect a win and you get that exact win, your brain kind of just shrugs and goes, yep, called it. You get a tiny little blip of dopamine. But when you succeed in a way that's way better than you predicted, whoosh, that's when your brain floods with that awesome rewarding chemical.
And you can see that neurochemical gap right here. It's so clear. The incredible feeling of winning doesn't come from the win itself. It comes from that positive prediction error, the surprise. And look at the difference in the dopamine release. It is absolutely massive. Okay, so if surprise is so critical, what happens when it just goes away? Well, this science explains a huge problem for really successful people. It's a paradox. The more you win, the harder it is to feel the win. And that can lead straight to burnout and that feeling of, what's even the point?
So here's how it happens. Step 1. You become an expert. You get so good at what you do, you're consistently at the top of your game. Success stops being a hope, or maybe it becomes your baseline. It's just what you expect to happen.
And when success is predictable, what's the first thing to disappear? You guessed it. That key ingredient we just talked about, surprise. Your brain knows the reward is coming, so there's no positive prediction error. The brain's math just doesn't work in your favor anymore.
And there you have it. That's the knockout punch. No surprise means no big dopamine release. Your brain is literally not giving you that chemical reward for all your hard work anymore. This is the real neurochemical reason why chasing predictable success can feel so incredibly hollow.
So that's the million-dollar question, right? If your brain gets bored of winning, are you just stuck with a life of fading motivation? No way. Absolutely not. There is a way to hack this system, to literally re-engage your brain's reward circuits.
And this brings us to this really fascinating, kind of counterintuitive solution from Albert Tan. He calls it the prediction error optimization protocol. The goal isn't to guarantee success. In fact, that's the problem. The goal is to strategically, intentionally engineer uncertainty.
So what's the magic number we're aiming for? It's this: 50%. The key to motivation isn't winning all the time. The sweet spot, the place where your brain is most engaged, is in a place of radical uncertainty.
What this means is you have to start operating right at the very edge of your abilities. You want to set goals where you have basically a coin flip's chance of succeeding. Why? Because by maximizing the uncertainty, you also maximize the potential for surprise. When you do win, it's not a given, so your brain rewards you with a huge dopamine hit.
So here's how you actually put this into practice. Step 1, set those 50-50 goals, the stuff that's genuinely hard for you. Step 2, you intentionally add some chaos, some unpredictability into what you're doing. Introduce variables you can't control. And finally, and this part's crucial, you start to gamify the struggle. You learn to find the reward in the process of solving the hard problem, not just in crossing the finish line.
So really, what this all comes down to is a fundamental shift in how we look at motivation. It's time to stop thinking about it in terms of willpower or moral strength and start thinking more like a neurochemical engineer for your own brain.
And I just think this is such a powerful reframe. That feeling of being unmotivated, it's not a character flaw. It's not you being lazy. It's a sign that your brain's reward system has just gotten a little numb from too much predictable success. It's a chemical state, and it's a state you can absolutely change. All right, let's wrap this up with your new toolkit. First tool, remember, motivation isn't a virtue, it's just your brain doing math. Second, actively start to embrace uncertainty. That's where the fuel is. And third, start chasing the prediction error, that feeling of surprise, instead of just the win itself. This is how you reset the whole system and get your internal engine fired up again.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. We spent our whole lives being taught to minimize risk and guarantee success. But what if, neurologically speaking, the real secret to staying hungry, to feeling alive, isn't to find more discipline at all? What if it's about learning to chase more uncertainty?